Center in downtown Minneapolis. Buckle yourselves in, everybody. It's the NBA on 2K Sports, and here with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And guys, what do you think we're going to be looking for in this one from J.J. Hickson?
Well, Hickson is a strong, athletic big man out of NC State. He can definitely finish around the rim. And I think he's improved his offensive game the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, he sure has, Steve. And he's an aggressive player. Loves to throw the ball down and get over the defense. Whenever he gets inside, he's trying to tear the rim down, which is always exciting. And, of course, Derek Williams. Since he's out of the picture, the team will have to fill his shoes.
Kevin, I thought he was really an important player for them, undervalued and not given the credit he deserved. That's not to say the trade was a mistake, but I think they'll miss him more than you might expect.
Well, chemistry-wise, I think you're onto something. He was a glue guy. He held things together for them in quite a few areas. So not having him around might take some getting used to.
Hey, it goes without saying that if you're beat up and your all-star power forward is on the shelf, you're going to have a tough time against the big teams in the West. Minnesota was left for the wolves, so to speak, when they matched up against others in their conference.
Miller, no luck.
I'll tell you what, the mid-range shot is not the easiest one to make. But when you've got Jay like he had there, I mean, those are shots you want to make.
Now, here's Rubio, averaging 9 points per contest. And stolen by Lawson. Fareed. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. 6 points for Kenneth Fareed. Picking up again on the Timberwolves. Last season, 17-35 record against the rest of the Western Conference, which was third worst in the conference. As Steve, you might expect, that's got to improve.
And as you said, I mean, losing so much of their front court as they did last year to injury, it's amazing that they even won that many games. I mean, if you don't have big bodies down low, then it's tough to win in the West.
Lawson. And it's stolen by Ricky Rubio. Deflected. Pekovic dishes to Martin.
Boy, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
That's good.
You know, guys, I think back to some of the most exciting passers ever to play the game. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, the late Keith Maravich come to mind. I think Rubio is of that ilk. You think about those guys, they weren't just great assist guys, but they were able to give you assists that had some flair and some flavor to it.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And it's Martin missing. And it's Kevin Love with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Dante Cunningham's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. We'll now go to Doris Burke, who spoke with Brian Shaw. Doris?
Kevin, the strategy for them offensively seems relatively straightforward. Get to the rim and finish big. He said, as you know, we're a team with athleticism and the ability to make plays inside. We'll try to exploit that as best we can. And until they make the adjustment, that's our focus. Guys, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He wants his guys going full tilt.
Thanks again, Doris. Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession. And Rubio really took the league by storm, Steve, with his passing. Deft moves, working through defenses, almost eyes in the back of his head. He was terrific.
Brilliant passer. I mean, he makes some passes that other people just wouldn't even be able to see. And just a phenomenal, entertaining player to watch.
Very flamboyant. The Nuggets making a switch here. Hickson's checked in. Gets it to go. Chandler's got his second bucket of the night.
Boy, you can't run an inbounds play any better than that right there.
Knocked away. Stolen by Fareed. The three. They get it back. Hickson with the ball. Now defended by Mbamute. And now Minnesota on the fast break. And stolen by Lawson. They've got the 5-on-3 advantage. There's the triple. Rebound by Shved. Minnesota Timberwolves coming to this one following a loss to San Antonio. Doubled by Foy. Cunningham covered by Foy. It's stolen by Foy. And here comes Lawson leading the fast break. And that's a foul call on J.J. Barea. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second foul already, and that's going to force him to, I think, tone it down a little bit at the defensive end.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota.
This quarter has not been his best. The defense may be starting to affect him a little bit.
You know, after that first round playoff loss, the question for the Nuggets is where do they go from here? I mean, they seem to have put together a season where they did everything they could, but at the end of the day, they came up short because they didn't really execute in the half court.
And guys, what do you think about the hustle stats for Denver?
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
And getting back to the Nuggets, injury certainly played a part in their premature end of the season. But they do have to ask some major questions, Steve, going forward as to where they're going to look for crunch time points and plays.
Well, this is a team that's built to win a lot of games in the regular season, but you don't know how impactful they can be in a 7-game playoff series because of their lack of a star. I think Ty Lawson is probably best suited to kind of play a Tony Parker-type role where he can dominate games, but this is a club that has some interesting choices to make personnel-wise here over the next couple of years.
Fournier is checked in for Denver. Shot and game clock separated by 5. And Brewer kicks to Love. Drops in the tray. Love's got 5 now.
Boy, when you got a big man who can shoot from distance like he can, what a huge bonus that is. 3 early turnovers for him here. He just does not look sharp out there, guys.
Well, he better sharpen it up right now because he's on pace to have about a dozen turnovers when it's all said and done.
Lawson outside. Tie game in Minnesota. And we welcome you back to start the quarter. Players had a chance to get hydrated with Gatorade. And there's certain to be some great basketball ahead for us. And guys, what's your take so far on the Timberwolves?
So difficult to get a shot off against this defense. They are really playing hard.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and they pride themselves on making it tough for their opponents.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So on the floor for Minnesota, Rubio and Martin manning the back. Big men, Love and Pekovic. And it's Brewer in at the small forward. Martin for 3. Kicks it out to Love. Fires for 3. Another miss by Love.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, Muhammad was once regarded as a contender for the top pick in this year's draft, but his stock fell after a year at UCLA. Some said he was too one-dimensional as a scorer. Then it was revealed that he'd lied about his age, pretending to be 1 year younger than he actually was. Now with a chip on his shoulder, out to prove that the hype was warranted. Muhammad said, quote, "I've always had a killer instinct, and that's what separated me. I'm trying to show no mercy." Kevin?
Extremely poised and confident. Thanks, Doris. Denver with a platoon swap here on the floor.
And Alexei Shved out of Russia. Last season, a free agent signee by the Timberwolves, and not really a bad find either. His shot's still coming along, but he's shown potential as a big playmaking wing.
And again, Denver no good.
He can't get anything to drop, and the way he's scoring, I'm not sure it's something he should try to shoot his way out of.
No, that might only serve to make things worse, Steve. Sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets.
Now it's a 5-point Timberwolves lead. And the Timberwolves with Ricky Rubio and Shved, they've got 6'5", 6'6" guards with playmaking capability.
They are both very mobile, and that gives this team some versatility defensively.
And here's Barea following Ty Lawson's 3. Out of bounds. Denver takes possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. You look at Minnesota. And, of course, the Minnesota Timberwolves tied up with them. Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Robinson for 3.
Even against solid defense, he's still going to try to continue to make that shot.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I wouldn't bet against him in that situation next time.
Here's Love. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. 7 points for Kevin Love.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything. They're moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
You know, the Timberwolves have taken on an increasingly international character. Players like J.J. Barea, Rubio, Nikola Pekovic, and Alexei Shved, all important contributors.
And Pekovic gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Andre Miller's checked in for Ty Lawson. And Denver has possession. They trail by 1. And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game. And Clark, a lot of European players used to this cold weather. Maybe that's why the Timberwolves, Steve, go after him.
Well, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But they've had pretty good luck with the international players. Some good talent that they've put together.
And stolen by Pekovic.
That's a hard pass to make when the defense has that many people in the paint.
Rubio, the pass to Love. Soft touch off the glass. Love's got 9. And let's get your take, guys, in the hustle stats for Minnesota.
They've come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break.
Not only are these players tremendous at picking ball handlers' pockets, but as terrific point guards, they know how to clog passing lanes and come up with a lot of steals that way as well.
Absolutely. Their steals come from all over the court and in all sorts of situations. Transition, half-court sets, out-of-bounds plays, in the lane. They are the NBA's most complete defenders at the one-guard spot.
And Andre Miller with the bucket on the assist by Robinson. Robinson's got his 3rd assist on the night. And sloppy play clock to be avoided at all costs.
Kevin, just take care of the ball. That's what you want to tell them. Just take care of the ball. Don't throw weak passes. Don't be careless. Don't telegraph your passes. If you keep your focus mentally, you won't make those kinds of careless mistakes.
That is good. So for the Nuggets, their last game, a loss to the Boston Celtics.
Was not a very inspired performance for them, particularly defensively. I thought, they gave the hostile crowd a lot to cheer about, frankly.
Yeah, they allowed a lot of free runs to the hoop, a lot of open jumpers, and in the end, the opponent's shooting percentage was right through the roof, and you can't win when that's the case. You know, guys, it's amazing, but last season, Andre Miller said he hopes to play until he never is hurt or misses games. He's been remarkably durable throughout his career.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. Dixon comes in for Anthony Randolph. And it's Lawson in for Andre Miller. Now, here is Lawson. 20 points for him last game against Boston.
Yeah, Kevin, he really set up shop with that foul line. I mean, they could not do anything with him defensively, and so they had to keep fouling.
And Andre Miller right now, 37 years of age, I think back in 1970. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Pekovic is checked in. Timberwolves trailed by 6. 3-pointer, Martin. Wilson Chandler with the rebound.
Even with every shot clanging off the rim, he seems determined to keep hoisting up these threes. It might be time to get inside of that arc.
They've been able to get out to this lead without really getting a very reliable performance out of him from the field.
Gets it to go. And 11 points for Kevin Martin.
Well, he has shot the ball well, but it has not been contagious. And his teammates, they haven't had the same groove, and that's why we're looking at this result so far.
Lawson dishes to Robinson. That one falls, coming off Lawson's feet. Lawson's got 5 assists in the game.
Should be the last possession of the quarter if they play it right.
And if their clock management's good, it will be.
And Pekovic kicks to Love. Another miss by Love. Here comes Lawson. 7-point game, the biggest lead in the game. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. The clock runs out, and we're ahead. And the second half about to start here in just a few moments.
You know, the Thunder may have won the Northwest last season, guys, but the Nuggets actually had the most wins against the rest of the division. They went 11-5 against their Northwest foes.
So on the floor for Denver, we've got Lawson, Wilson Chandler out there with Kenneth Faried. It's Andre Miller, and it's Hickson in at the 5. The Nuggets leading by 7. And he lobs it up toward the rim. And so it looks like Denver will retain possession here.
Well, let's take a look to see the numbers for Kevin Love. First in rebounding, and he's really worked hard at his offensive game. Ranks in the top 10 in that category, points per game.
You know, we rewind back and look at his incredible rebounding average, and he's actually a beast in the paint. I mean, when the shot goes up, he really believes it belongs to him if it doesn't go in.
And for the Nuggets, it's been 2 years now since they have won the Northwest, but ending up in the top 3 teams in the West overall isn't bad for a team that came in Steve second in their division.
Well, the Nuggets knew that. I mean, the way the Thunder played, it would have been tough to chase them down for the division crown. But, you know, the Nuggets just kept grinding away last year, and they almost ended up winning the division because they definitely developed into one of the most feared teams in the conference.
And for those of you turning in, we're about a minute into the second half. And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Miller, the pass to Lawson. Chandler, back to Lawson. Miller dishes to Lawson.
He has yet to get into the flow of this game. His teammates have done their part, but they need him to pick his game up. You know, for most of his tenure in Minnesota, Kevin Love has been a happy camper. But last season, he made some statements that showed he had some reservations about just how long he'll be a Timberwolf.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Robinson's checked in. The Nuggets leading by 5. Takes a 3. Rubio with the rebound. Rubio's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Starting to get restless here. 0 for 4 to start the second half.
And going back to the comments Kevin Love made, he expressed some concerns with the team's management and some of their maneuvering of players and who they were looking at.
Well, I think he was surprised, along with the rest of us, that they didn't offer him the full 5-year contract.
Home record.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Foy's checked in. And here's Love from the arc. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
Well, that's a lot of bricks by them early in the second. Only 1 make on 5 tries so far in the second half.
And the basket by Rubio. Rubio's got 4 points in the quarter.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
And back to Minnesota, they were a sneaky pick to get into the playoffs at the beginning of last year, but so much can change in the course of a season, Steve, namely injuries for the Timberwolves.
No doubt. You know, Kevin Love going down, I mean, that hurt them. Ricky Rubio in and out of the lineup. But there's no question when you look at the roster, some of the moves they made in the offseason, it's a pretty talented team.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
Now Rubio. After the missed 3 from Foy, Love kicks to Rubio. Back to Love. Good. And now just a 3-point Nugget lead.
Some big points there. I mean, they got him on a nice play to get the ball right to the bucket.
That's what they're looking for down the stretch, Clark. More of the same. Get it inside.
And why don't we quickly go to the 2K leaderboard and find out which shooting guards have been the hottest at the free throw line this season. Kevin Martin on top.
He's just a guy that you do not want to send to the line. I mean, defenders always have to think twice about initiating any contact with him because of that great percentage.
Yeah, and it allows him to be really hard charging in regards to getting to the basket. That's an advantage you enjoy as a perimeter player when you're so good at getting to the basket and converting free throws.
You know, they're being very one-dimensional right now, going to the post every time. But if it works, you don't need another dimension.
Well, they're taking this defense to task, quite honestly. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
And Faried kicks to 4. Drills it from outside. Foy's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Well, you know, when they need a big three, he's the guy they look to. He's about as reliable a deep threat as you're going to find.
And you know what, Steve? We also have to talk about his shooting. I mean, the fact that he copes with tight D better than anyone is something to make note of. His percentage stays the same, and if he's wide open, he's automatic.
Robinson kicks to Foy. Passes it to Lawson. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Offensive rebound. It's stolen by Martin. Dishes it to Rubio. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Rubio's got 8.
All the points these defenders are allowing inside is inexcusable. That's 5 baskets in a row, and they've all been practically lay-ins.
Yeah, they've got to harden and toughen up down there, guys.
Tough break for the defense. He took the heat and drew the whistle.
Yep, but when you get there late, that's what happens.
Lawson the pass to Hickson. Lawson dishes to Foy. Here's Hickson. Can't hit. Great defense that time from Pekovic.
Without question, last season was the best of J.J. Hickson's career. New field goal high in terms of percentage, and his rebound rate went off the charts. Played his way into a nice contract, too.
Rubio gets a screen from Love. And he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
That's basketball 101, guys. I mean, elementary. Use the screen to free yourself and then take it straight to the rack.
Yeah, very nice set play for him.
Well, that's using your head and using your body.
And looking back for J.J. Hickson, this is a player who was waived back in 2012 by the Kenneth Faried comes in for Jarrell Arthur. And Nate Robinson is subbed in for Fournier. Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Here is Barea. Lawson defending. And J.J. Hickson is going to pick up a foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Well, as you said, the Nuggets put together their big 15-game winning streak. But, you know, Steve, since it happened, when the Heat rattled off their big push, nobody really even seemed to notice.
That's right. It might have worked out in their favor anyway, Kevin, because, you know, that win streak really kind of put them into high gear and allowed them to climb into the 3rd spot in the West. Probably was nice not having the media focused on them and wanting to talk to them every day about what was happening in the Western Conference.
You know, the Wolves were just decimated by injuries last year, and it really put a snag in their season from the start, with Rubio still recovering from his ACL tear and Kevin Love missing a lot of time with his hand fractures. They were missing 2 major building blocks.
Barea kicks to Martin. The pass to Barea. From deep. Fires from deep. And that one's good. Barea's got 9. Clark and Steve, neither side has relented a bit in this back-and-forth affair.
Well, 8 lead changes, Kevin, so far as the teams are battling it out here in the 3rd.
That's all building towards what...
And the Nuggets on top, leading by a point. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center. Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the 4th quarter. A terrific game so far. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for Denver.
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
They've worked hard tonight at crashing the boards as well. They've had a bunch of second-chance points.
Big men, Love and Pekovic. Rubio and Martin manning the back. And it's Brewer in at the small forward position.
Oh, in fact, they were better constructed for the regular season than the playoffs.
Muhammad, he's checked in for Corey Brewer. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Yes, Kevin. Well, Rick Adelman had some advice for his team over that last break. He told them to stick with what's worked to this point, saying, listen, they're giving us all the space we need inside. Let's take advantage of it. Keep working the ball inside the paint.
Thanks, Doris. You know, continuing to talk about the Nuggets, it is a fair question to ask because this group, Steve, has been so successful in the regular season, but has yet to make a big splash in the postseason.
I think they've advanced out of the first round 1 time in the last 9 seasons. So, I think it's a fair question, Kevin. I think you can win playing fast, but you have to have balance. Look at the Spurs last year. They played a very high tempo, but they played excellent defense as well. You've got to have some kind of a balance to win in the postseason.
And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
Remains Minnesota ball.
About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. And Love gets it to go.
That's his first three-pointer of the half. Remember, he did make one in the first half as well.
Robinson passes to Lawson. Rubio comes with the double team. The Nuggets moving the ball around. Muhammad with the steal. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Rubio dishes to Love. Rubio. And Pekovic kicks to Rubio. Pass to Love. And he misses the go-ahead basket.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
Robinson. And a strong finish with two hands. Savage. That's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely. Those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt.
And a missed layup. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. The shot's good from Love.
I tell you what, you don't want to allow too many of those kinds of baskets with the game on the line.
Now, this is when defenses have to protect the basket with everything they've got. Force the offense to shoot from the perimeter.
And it looks to me like he still has some of the shooting touch that he displayed in the first.
Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
Been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costing him.
Watson the pass to Hickson. Robinson dishes to Lawson. He feeds it to Fareed. 5 to shoot. And Voigt kicks to Lawson. Off target with his three.
Tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about out there with him shooting. I mean, he can't dial it in from deep this half at all.
Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending to deflect it away.
Corey Brewer's checked in for Minnesota. Here's Pekovic. Lays it up and banks it in.
You know, Kevin, he never gives up on a play. That's what I love about him. He's just one of those guys who will bring effort and energy the entire 48 minutes.
And guys, he plays a tough brand of basketball. His biggest tool and asset is his strength, and he uses it every time down the court.
And it's out of bounds. The Nuggets able to retain possession here. Dante Cunningham's checked in for Minnesota. Minnesota on D. Watson the pass to Hickson. That is in there. Watson with the assist. Watson's got his 8th assist here tonight.
The defense has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
Boy, I'd like to know how many of their attempts have come from inside 5 feet. It seems like everything is right at the rim. Man, a gaping hole in the defense that time, and he didn't waste any time getting through it.
And it's Foy missing.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
And it's Martin missing.
And the defense got away with a major lapse there.
Robinson dishes to Hickson. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
Big call, Kevin. He just didn't get there quick enough, and that's a tough break.
And that call gets an instant reaction from the team.
Well, that's a whistle that did not go over very well.
Robinson drives in. Back to Lawson. Hits the three-point bomb. And it's a 6-point Nugget lead.
That's his second three-pointer of the half and his third overall.
And that is good.
Very high-quality shot. Can't get enough of those.
For Denver, they've gone 6 of 13. So just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter.
Yes, sir. Boy, he wanted everybody in the building to know who threw that one down.
Hanging on the rim is, I guess, one way to do it.
It's the best way to do it. As long as you don't get teed up, I guess.
Kevin Love's checked in for Dante Cunningham. Love outside. And it's Pekovic missing. For Denver, they've gone through the fourth quarter shooting 50%, 7 of 14. Lawson's against Rubio. And Lawson with the drive. The kick out to Fareed. Kevin Martin grabs the board.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
Another shot. Nails it! And now they trail by just 4.
He got a great read of where that doing it to get the putback.
There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He hits the first one, and that puts them up by 5. So he gets them both, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Those foul shots put them that much more in the driver's seat.
Out of bounds, Timberwolves ball as Minnesota keeps possession. Poke loose. Pass to Rubio. Buck 3. Denver grabs the miss. And Lawson, here we go. That's good.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin.
A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
Five seconds left in the fourth quarter.
I like the defense, guys, really getting a hand up and challenging shots.
Yes, Steve, lurking on that shot, and that was a tough one. So we see Denver get the win here. They pulled off this win, Clark, but there's